All right, welcome to Grow Your Strength. Let's take some time to establish the breath, face up or face down position. We'll go for about a minute and then we'll get into the activations and warm up part of the class. So, trying to establish the best posture I can on the floor. Chin tuck, tucking my shoulders down and making sure if I have a big arch in my back, I can just adjust that down a little bit so my rib cage feels nicely aligned with my pelvis. As you start to go through some slow breath cycles, just letting go of any tension you can through the shoulders, the face, the hips and low back, and the legs. Just let everything melt away. After next breath cycle, let's take our time to roll onto hands and knees and start to warm up the spine, going through flexion and extension. Take my hands a little wider than my shoulders, knees a little wider than my hips, and I'm just slowly rounding my back up, not pushing any extremes, and then taking some time to roll through my spine, starting in my low back, through mid back, shoulders, and gently pulling my shoulders down away from my ears and looking up. Then I'll start in my low back again, just taking some time to round inch by inch, vertebrae by vertebrae. Push the floor away gently and separate the shoulder blades as you let your head be heavy. After your next cycle, find the middle ground, neutral back, and just walk your hands together and sit your hips back a little bit more towards your heels. We'll take one hand off and slowly watch the hand as you rotate up as far as you can comfortably go. Holding for a count of 2. Really sink in to your shoulder with that arm connection. Slowly bring that back down. We'll rotate side to side very slowly, about 3 times. The hand that's in the floor, use that hand. Push gently into the floor so you can open up through the front of the shoulder and the chest a little bit. Here's my 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. And establishing that nice slow breath pattern with this as well. If you're going a little faster than me, then just do an extra one. Spread those fingers. Go one more time per side here. Take it to sideline next and work on our hip cars. So positioning yourself on your side and rolling your top hip forward, stacking the knees and feet. And then when you feel ready, taking this top leg off and just starting to trace the mobilization that you can access. So pulling back, I'm staying out of my back, still slightly tilted forward. Think of this as a core exercise as well. Continue with the deep breathing. Couple circles in each direction. And then before we switch sides, let's do 5 knee only clamshells. So just taking some time to lift that top knee up, finding the range you can access. There should be some activation in this area. And then down, release. Nice work. And after the 5 there, we'll switch over to the other side. Rolling that top hip forward. Slow circles, deep breathing. And then our 5 clamshells on this side. Take us onto our back next. Do 5 bridges, just with no band, and then actually go to an option with the band or no band. So stay tuned. So 5 bridges, opening up the toes, connecting the posture. So do you need to tuck the low back down a bit so you feel integrated in your torso? Squeezing the hips as you come up, activating. Doesn't have to be an over squeeze, and then down. After 5 of these, you've got some options. I want to do a 1.5 bridge with the possibility of putting a loop band on. So if you have one and you use one, you can put the band just above the knees. And what I mean by the 1.5 is just come up to your full hip extension, down halfway, back up again, and then all the way to the floor. That's 1. We'll do 10 of those. So up, down halfway, up again, and down. Just a little longer under tension and get that opportunity to fully extend the hips. That looks great. If the band tension is getting too difficult, then just rest. Let the knees come in for a moment, reset, and go again. Can go through a few reps, keeping the tension. Just rest as you need, depending on your band and how hard this is. Good. And turning to your side, we'll go through the clamshells. A few options with this. So you can do the sideline clamshells for up to 10. If you'd like to add the side plank, you can come up into a side plank and then do a clamshell. That's a lot harder. You've got to be mindful that you support the shoulder, so no shrugging. With the side plank version, 5 should be enough reps to aim for, 10 if you're on the floor. And after you've done your choice, we'll switch to the other side. Just take some time to reposition yourself. So again, could be right down here, doing knee only for 10, side plank. 1, and reset. After you finish your clamshells, we'll take the band off and grab a stretch strap, whatever you use for knee bends and ankle mobility, and take some time to establish a good setup posture on the floor. For some, that might mean this knee stays bent because it feels better on the back. If you can extend that leg out, then do. Just try to keep your legs straight, and then tuck the shoulders down, adjust your clothes, and then into some knee bends. So this is flexing the knee and hip, and then fully extending out without locking the kneecap. Okay, so if you need to back your leg off to get that full length to the back of the leg without a bend, then do. Some folks have the range that they can go a little higher. Stick to about 5 of these moves, and then isolate the ankle by keeping the leg still. Check that your leg is straight and start to find the full range of your ankle, pointing the toes to the roof, pulling the heel down to your calf, and then the reverse of that. I'm feeling a little tight there today. Here's the ankle rolls, sole of the foot in and out. See, I'm going slow enough that I can tell where my end range is, and now I'm changing the angle of my foot. So rolling the sole of the foot with my toes to the roof, and then halfway, whatever you can do there, just play with it. And then here's a couple slow circles. Nice deep breathing. Good. And after a couple circles each way, just take the time to switch over and do the same kind of sequence on this side. Refine the posture. Check the legs are straight. Still recovering from my knee issue, and it's getting better, but it's still limiting me in some things. I share because it is a little frustrating when things prevent you from doing what you want to do, or you have discomfort, and certainly feel like injuries can take a little longer to heal as I get older, but still moving. I'm not letting it get in the way, or I can't. Okay, so ankle turns. Sole of the foot, spreading the toes. And then into those slow circles. Good. I'm going to take that same band that I used and work it in an overhead range of motion. You can adjust the posture with your knees bent. It might be a little easier to find range overhead without arching your back off the floor. Depending on your posture, though, you might be able to extend your legs out, chin tuck, and then find a width that you can go overhead with. Back of the hands on the floor can sink into the shoulders. Bring the band all the way back over to the hips. Feel free to let the arms relax a little in the overhead position and roll the head a little to the left and to the right. And pulling that back over. Just taking some time to ease into that. From here, I'll take us to down dog, alternating with a plank hold or a plank lower. Lately, when I've been doing the down dog, pulsing my hips up and rocking my heels back, I've been really thinking about my feet and my toes, so I'm trying to come forward, bending my toes, taking the load into my hands and fingers without collapsing through my neck and shoulders. Sitting back again, just softening the upper back, bringing the armpits down towards my feet, gently easing my heels to the floor. Depending on how hard this is for you, you can come through the toes again, or you could take a break. You could go into a little wrist stretch, some circles, and setting yourself up for a plank, stepping back, connecting the hips. Here's the plank hold. Anti-shrug the shoulders. Don't hold your breath, and you can slowly lower yourself down, putting a pillow under your torso if you feel the need. And I'm just going to go through this a couple more times. So play with it. You can come up into the down dog again. How about your toes? When you bend your toes, are you getting some good even stretch through both of your great toes? Do all of your toes bend? Pulsing those heels back, lengthening through the shoulders. Back to the high plank. You can just hold for breath cycles. Spread those fingers. Don't just take the load through the base of your wrists. Little bend in the elbow and then slowly all the way to the floor. I think my necklace is tapping on the mic. Okay, there we go. So now let's go to calf raises and extension reaches. So we'll come up to standing. I like to do the calf raises with a small ball between my heels. You might need balance support, so you could go to a piece of furniture or tip up a roller. I just check that my feet are straight and the ball is right between my heels. I'm gonna open up my toes and connect to the floor. And as I come up, I'm just gently squeezing the ball and then trying to work the smaller muscles of my feet as they lower down. If you have flat feet or you feel like you're losing your arches, you can gently squeeze the ball and try to envision turning your feet in, because that inversion does create arch. So that sensation is good. If you have high arches or really neutral feet, you just hold the ball and lift. If you want to coordinate the breath, inhale with your heels on the floor. Exhale as you lift. Inhale, heels on the floor. That was a bad demo. Exhale, lift. And gaining that control through your feet is the goal. Okay, let's take it into a more dynamic move. The feet are wider now. I'm opening my fingers and I'm lifting my heels off the floor, reaching for the roof. 6 of these at your own pace. This is a good extension posture, so everything through the toes, ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, neck opens up as you reach. And if you can hold it up, using that control through your feet for a couple seconds, 1,000, 2, 1,000, then try to. Some are better than others, and the wider your feet are, the easier this is going to be, the wider your base of support. After your 6, we'll start to weight shift from side to side. Just taking some time to find your balance with the knee over the midfoot and a slight bend in the knee, taking a little longer with each step. And then if you want to add a blink or close your eyes and just trying to hold that for a moment and then open and switch, getting that sense of floating your weight over your foot and trying not to scrunch the toes. So, of course, the toes maybe grab when you need to support yourself, but see if you can come into it, floating your weight over your foot. The toes are long and yet down and connected on the floor. There you go. Opening up those toes. Okay, the next exercise, we're going to take a weight. Could be a dumbbell or a kettlebell. We're going to find that single leg position again. And you could kickstand your back toe on the floor if you felt like passing was going to be too hard and throw off your balance. Okay, so you can do this with the back toe just lightly touching like this, or with the toe off, slowly passing from side to side about 10 times. Staring at something will help, just like blinking your eyes and taking your vision away will make it harder. Okay, focus on what you're feeling through your foot and your knee as you bring the weight to either side of your leg. Different things are activated. Side of the knee, stability, balance. There's a lot going on here. After 10, take a moment to establish a good foot connection, switching sides, weight shifting in. Those toes are long and connected again. Nice deep breathing. Ooh, there we go. That looks great. Next up, I'm going to take us through a lateral step. So what I mean by this is I'm going to step out and slowly come down. 3, 2, 1, and then step up again. I'll show you from the side. So as I step out, I'm trying to get my hips back. 3, 2, 1, and come up to standing. We'll do that 5 times. Make sure you've got your foot balance established, sitting the hips back on that count of 3, and then coming back up. Looks good. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Great. Okay. Other side. Step out. 3, 2, 1. Up. You feeling your inner thighs? I am. Coming out of this, we'll take it into some body weight squats. Let's do 5. Nice. To a depth you can control. Knees go forward, hips go down. Watch that your knees aren't wandering in. So kind of feel like you're taking a wider stance with your knees. And then we'll take a weight that we know we can press overhead easily. And then it'll be a squat, stop, press, stop. So here's my squat. And here's my press. Rep ranges are always approximate. I want to say 5 or 6, just depending on how that feels through the shoulder. If for some reason you didn't want to press overhead, you could just do the squats with the weight on one side. Listen to your body. Don't work through any pain. Just taking your time. A good squat, nice and even. And a nice press. Work the up, work the down. Lovely. Switching sides. Good. Okay, and I'm going to move us to a lateral lunge, which is in place. So I would call this a static lunge. You can take load or you can go body weight. Taking a straight step back, get some good connection with your back toes. That bend comes in handy. And then we're dropping the back knee and coming back up. Now, if you want to load the front knee a little, you can certainly go forward, but that's a little more stress on the knees. So depending on how that feels for you, 6 to 8 of these. Okay, other things we're watching for is that as you come down, your front knee stays tracking over the midfoot. So only go to a depth and use weights that you can control that. If you want to add breath, you could consider that inhale down, exhale up. My toes in the front are nice and long and connected. Very nice. Good stuff. Okay, I'm just going to take us through some knee circles and then we'll go through this again. So just gently circling around about 5 times and then we'll switch direction. It's nice and easy. Deep breathing in and out through the nose if you can. Switching direction. Little motion is lotion. Got to be nice to these knees. Especially when one has not been behaving very well. All right, so we'll go back to the balance with the weight passes. Establishing my foot connection, floating my weight over, kickstand or not. Don't let this weight control your neck and shoulders either. Breathe. Use your upper body strength as well. About 10 passes, not too fast. Good. Switching sides. Good. Now for the lateral step, I'm going to demo 1 or 2 with weight, but I'm not going to do the whole set with weight, but you could take a weight, 3, 2, 1, and come back up. You could even hold the weight up here, right? Whatever feels comfortable. 3, 2, 1, and back up. You know what? I changed my mind. This actually feels good. So it's not overloading, being sensitive to my injury. It feels totally fine doing this. I thought that the load might not. Listening to your body. 3, 2, 1, back up. Go. Ching. He's looking great. And next up, we'll take a little water break and then go into the squat and press. Okay. Squat. Feet can be hip width or wider, toes can be straight or turned out. What feels best for you today as you pull your hips down nice and even to a depth you can control? And then work that up phase, work the down phase. This one's the move that's guaranteed to put you in a good mood. I haven't said that for a while, but I've definitely felt it. Feel that smile coming on. Good. Nice. Okay, feel free to take another break if you need to. If you're watching this as part of a tape, you can stop the tape. And then when you're ready, reset. We've got our lunges. Couldn't be better. Switching sides. And those bend in the back toes. If you're having trouble with balance, focusing on something will help. A little wider stance also helps. Only if you need it. So good. Okay, so I'm going to take us to a weighted carry on one side. So finding a weight that you think will challenge you to walk evenly forward and back about 30 seconds. So I'm going to pick up my weight now carefully. And you can stand tall or just take a few steps forward and back, not giving in to the weight. This side of the core is working. Nice broad shoulders. Nasal breathing if you can. And carefully putting that weight down. Switching sides. Good. About 10 more seconds. And carefully putting the weight down. Bent over fly. This is the motion. You can do it body weight with your palms forward. Staying out of the neck, I'm in a slight hinge position. If you have some weights that you can manage this with, please be mindful that the weights aren't forcing you to use too much or anything through your neck. Breathe. Rep range up to 10. I always like the way that opening those arms feels after a few reps. Okay, I'm taking us to the floor. Oh, pardon me, push-up variation. So some will be on the floor, some might be in an elevated surface. Then we go to the floor. Okay, so the push-up is established by getting a good plank position. Step back. The further you are away from the wall, the harder that is. Activate the hips a little. As you pull yourself in, create that tension, allowing your shoulder blades to come together. Whether you're on the elevated surface or the floor. It's just all part of the practice of eventually getting to the plank where you would lower, do a mini push-up, so where you can control, or a full push-up would be our ultimate goal. And have had a lot of clients that have achieved push-ups. Sometimes it's taken longer than they wanted it to, but it does happen with consistency. So this is good news. Okay, then we'll go to the seated row. So we'll take ourselves into an upright posture, wrap a loop band around your feet, and check the tension. My feet are nice and straight. So if my elbows finish at my sides, am I working to pull the shoulder blades together? Yeah, that feels just right. So 12 to 15 of these, staying tall. You can pull your elbows wide for a couple and have them closer to your hips, but just try not to take the elbow further back and internally rotate your shoulder. Just taking some time, getting the sense of that squeeze or pinch between the shoulder blades. It's good. The McGill hold variations to go through. You want to find one that works for you without flaring up your neck or seizing anything in your back. If you establish this connection with your bent knee foot, just gently push the low back to mid back into the floor and connect that foot a little bit away from you. You'll feel this activate through the core. You can lift your straight leg just an inch off the floor. You could just do the same with your head with some light support, chin tuck. If this doesn't feel good on the neck, leave the head on the floor, tuck the chin, tongue on the roof of the mouth. I'm still getting a great core exercise here. Try it with my head off. Nice deep breathing. And then coming out of that, carefully switching your top knee and just play with how things feel. Okay, low back, yep. I can do that. Lift up. So I always think of this as my forehead and my chest kind of lifting up as one to the roof. Then I really feel the activation through the front side. Let's do that one more time per side. See a lot of people do this with their head, right? So we'll try not to flex that neck that much. Chin tuck and just a little lift, keeping your neck neutral, trying not to flare up all of this part. And then carefully switching. We'll take us from here into a get up. So today, let me just see what I did last week. Yeah, we went to tall sit. So today we'll go to high bridge. And if you know the full get up and you like to do one now, please do. Lying on my back, I've anchored in my shoulder so I can punch my fist to the roof and then pull back down and just lightly connect everything to the floor. My base foot is connected, my opposite arm and leg are on a slight angle. And that angle is, over time, will just become apparent. Here's the elbow position. I'm not in a shrug. I'm still looking up at my hand. Flatten the bottom hand and push up and then pull the hand in to whatever distance you need to come up between your hand and foot. You can count 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, and then slowly come down to your hip. You want to make sure you don't come down and shrug into the shoulder. So as you come down to the elbow, be mindful of this. You're going to roll away a little bit more than you might think. See, I'm closer to the edge here. Okay, I'm going to switch sides. You could go ahead and do 2 per side. If you're doing the tape again, pause the tape and just practice what angle works for you. Depending on your arm length, right? Your elbow might need to be a little further out or a little closer in than it looks to be. But once you find that connection and do enough of these, it just becomes habit. It's a great body weight exercise, also good to load in time when you feel confident of what you're doing. Beautiful job. Okay, so I'll take us back through a few of these as we come out of the get up. We'll go to the row and then back up to standing for the fly and the carry. I think that's probably good for today's training. So get that band around the feet. Work on the tension. Shoulders down away from ears. Neck should be loose. $12 to $15 of these. Not too easy, but not too hard. So if the going gets tough and you start to feel like you're shrugging or taking tension in a weird way, then just call the set. Coming up to standing, let's do the fly first so everybody can kind of catch up here, finishing the rows and then into the body weight or light weights that you can manage. Opening up, trying to activate and work the muscles through the shoulder blades. Work the up phase and work the down phase with control. And then for the one-sided carry, did you pick up something that was challenging for about 30 seconds on one side? Here we go. Again, you can stay or take a few steps forward and back. Looking upright, breathing deep. So feeling out the feet if you're walking, the hips as you walk backwards. That's half a minute, so just carefully put that down. Switching sides. And there's half a minute on that side. Okay, as we say goodbye today, I'm just going to take us to some shoulder work. So we'll take the shoulders up and back and down. Some slow circles, letting the arms be loose. Switch direction. And then last thing is just some gentle S patterns. So taking one hand to the small of the back and the other hand to the back of the head. Sometimes when you do this, the shoulders feel a little creaky. You can change with this cue. Depending on your shoulders, one might fit better than others. So pretend you're touching the walls on either side of you, so you're creating space in your shoulders. that might change how it feels because you're lengthening between your fingertips, trying to touch those walls. And with other people, it's more of a connection in. So rather than reaching out, it's kind of like in, sort of now the ball and socket joint of your shoulder is feeling a little tighter. And not knowing which is best for your shoulders, just feel it out. Just kind of get that sense of the rotation. Very nice. Okay, thank you for building a stronger version of yourself with me today.